Back at it, second time today, more coding. This time we are going to do NPC buffs and debuffs. So what I mean by that is the ability to, for NPCs to have buffs upon themselves, that way they can do it, or debuffs. This is all necessary for the new druid spell, Growl? Let's see, what is it called? Shift to bear form here. Beastly Roar! Right. So what that's supposed to do is the opposite of your Spirit of the Woods, which increases all your stats by 10%. It's supposed to decrease your enemy's stats by 10%. For PvP, already works. Buffs and debuffs already work fine on users. It's that they don't work at all on NPCs. So that is what I'm going to go and try and do. For those who caught the last stream, I did make a couple quick updates to what I did regarding the channeling AoE regen mana and rage spell. I realized I needed to make sure that it doesn't apply that effect for overtime spells in this chunk of code, because that automatically will, the effects automatically get applied in overtime spells. So if I didn't do that exception here, they would get doubled up for overtime spells that had MP Gen effect. Don't want that, so that was necessary. Plus, I just did a little bit of refactor to make it a switch statement instead of saying like if MP Gen, if this, so we'll have a case statement for each effect. A little bit more readable. Okay, so what do we need to do to get NPCs buffed and debuffed a lot, actually, because right now the way their stats are saved, NPC stats, totally different than that of users. So we're gonna have to make a way to modify the NPC stats beyond what they're already set at. Currently this doesn't happen. Their stats are what they are when they spawn, and they don't get changed. You can cast like overtime spells on them, like damage over time, and those will stick on them and do things. But effects, and this includes your pets as well. That's why a lot of buffs don't work on pets. Is because the effects don't work. The buffs, debuffs do not work on NPCs. So because their stats can't be changed. They are right now. They are what they are when they're generated, when they spawn, and they do not change. But we need to make it where they do change. And not only, of course, do we need to make it work. That's the first step of programming is make a functional program. What we also have to do, I'm about to say next, but you don't really do that next. You do it at the same time. You plan for these things, is make it to where it not only works, but it works well. So that is a key part of making a browser-based MMORPG performing well, where your frame rate is not too much of an issue, and don't have too much lag and all that kind. There's so much problems that could arise if things are not running quickly. So we need to make sure that NPCs can have dynamic stats, that's right, instead of their current static stats. And not only will that work, but it needs to run quickly. Like, think of all the NPCs that are in the world. We need to make sure that calculating these stats isn't something that happens all the time. They needs to be cached, basically. If there's database activity, at least it needs to be cached. If it's some numbers that can be crunched real quick, probably okay to calculate on the fly, and like update the stats after the NPCs are pulled from the database. So that might sound weird. Why am I pulling NPCs from a database? Well, I mean, this all started as a web project. This is all MySQL, PHP, LAMP stack based development. So it all arose from a website. It's kind of funny that a website is running a game. It works. Tides of Time is proof enough. I don't think I need to be in a party, so we'll go ahead and leave that party now. Yeah, I'm a big bear. Don't have a jump animation yet for that. I'll make one. Same with the cats. They also need a jump animation. I can't wait to make one. I love these derpy models and their derpy animations. Like I can't take credit for them. I had them made. It's mostly the animations that make it derpy. The models themselves are fine. Although I do wish that, I don't know why he didn't make it with teeth. As if like, I almost want to have that go back and have it fixed. Really needs teeth. Not a very scary tiger without teeth. But anyways, I digress. So, alright. So let's get to the part where NPCs are pulled. That is a function in here called map NPCs. See. Alright. Params, stats, right. Effects, parsed. So their effects. How do they get their effects? How are NPC effects generated? Pulled. Get OT is because this would be generally an this would be an overtime. So let's see. How does this function work in the case of? All right. Update. Okay, so the effect is there. It's just not applying. Okay. It's just not applying it to the stats. So the effect is there. It looks like, okay, that's great. At least the data's there. That it already looks like it's been optimized, it's cached. At least cached onto a table, so I don't have to like query a bunch of active spells from another table every time, and it just saves a lot of database work. Man, if I could go back and redo this whole game, would it be as database heavy? Probably not. But it is nice because everything is nice and saved all the time instead of just being like just existing in the netcode kind of floating, where like it could just like a server crash would just you'd lose a lot of data. With it being database driven, I mean, it's there, but there's a lot of caveats and downsides to that as well. Man. That's only pulled from. Okay, cool. All right, so I think let's see. This function doesn't itself pull the effects, does it? Okay, how does it? You know, I remember I built this code for pets, I believe. Looks like this is just redundancy for stats. Making sure that stats has a level property. That's what that is. Okay, good. An effect is pulled right there. This might be just ready to go. We'll see. That'd be great. fine. I suppose we can do this. I mean, we have effects right there. That's awesome. Am I double pulling effects for NPCs in certain cases, or stats is already pulled? Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm not missing an optimization opportunity. We'll see. Man, this ready. It's gotta go. At one point, I tried a optimization enhancement called Redis or Redis or something. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. To see if it could speed up certain operations by keeping objects in memory versus putting them in database and pulling them out. It turns out the database is actually faster, unbelievably. I am shocked. So actually, instead of just deleting all this, for the moment, I will just comment it out, which is a better way to do this. Is that the only mention of it? Yeah. Let's get it out. Just simplify it. Just get slower code out. I mean, if it's not faster and it didn't work in its optimization, I don't know why by keeping it would be a good idea. All right. So I want to make sure that, okay, get stats, okay. Okay, good. Good, okay. Not doubling up on effect pull. That's what I wanted to make sure was happening. That I wasn't pulling the effects twice when the NPC is pulled, because that'd be a waste of resources. But I'm not, so good. Looks like I did that correctly. Because when I'm pulling the stats, the effects is pulling from the already existing stat variable, which includes the effects. And if I'm not pulling all the stats and I just want the effects, it's only getting the effects. Okay, where the buffs and debuffs are stored. If I didn't mention that, I should have. The effects are where a lot of things, like your stealth. If you're stealthed, you have some kind of regen going on from an overtime spell, or any kind of buff. They improve stamina, agility, strength, etc. All in your effects, or even bleed. Like if you're bleeding from a bleed attack, from like a gash or swipe or whatever it's called. All stored there. So very important. A variable. These effects. So okay, great. I will now do the part that I need to do, which is in the function get stats. So both users and NPCs are passed to this function, so it kind of does both. So if not an NPC, basically, it does this. If you are an NPC and you have stats, because you need those. Excuse me. Otherwise, if you don't have stats, like, when would this happen? This is clearly to set the stats level, if not set, or just in case not set. All right. Clearly with the question mark. Removing the confidence from that, but I believe that's the case. Just not 100. Okay, so here we go. Effects. We have effects. So if I want to make sure it's not empty, so we're not going to iterate through a potentially empty variable. Just in case it's null instead of an empty array. If you try to iterate through null, it'll break. If you try to iterate through an empty array, it's fine. But I just want to be sure. I mean, I guess the best thing to do is absolutely make sure that this is always an array, no matter what. That's a lot of code to check. I've got a busy life. So, Not tonight though. Pretty nice chill tonight. But I want to get this done. So anyways, if stats effects is not empty, let's do some things. So let's, instead of doing if statements, we can do casing. I like the casing. We could probably clean it up a little bit. Probably clean this up and merge it with some other kind of similar function or similar case later. I feel like I'm doing this, what I'm about to do, in a few spots. Maybe I could turn it into a function that could be reduce the redundancy. So anyways. Whew. I want to make sure I'm not going to be overwriting anything variables here. Alright, cool. Alright. Great. So the name of the effect is actually going to be stored here, because the effects basically kind of look like this. Fruit fly, god damn. That's what you get for having fruit. Bananas and apples. You get fruit flies, god damn it. Alright, but anyways. Here, we'll do this. This is kind of what's going on here. This is what the effects variable is, which is pulled from this function. The get effects function is populating this variable with something like this. So we can do like, so let's say stamina. Let's say 20. Or agility, let's say for some reason it's -10. Also bleed. Let's just say 1, as if just bleed doesn't have a varying value. It's just you are or aren't, so it's either going to be 1 or 0. So let's just say you are. In this case, your stats would be, you would have the stamina would be the name of the stat, and the value would be 20. Agility would be the name, the value would be -10. The bleed, again, the name, and the value being 1. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And this is why comments are actually kind of cool. Not just to comment out code, but just to give you little references and examples and stuff. It's nice to do. So this is the name. So this right here is equivalent to this. When you go through or iterate through an array with using this for each function, it goes through each line item at a time of that variable. And when you set it up like this with this whole as thing and stuff, I know it's kind of weird. Each line, each name or array key is stored or is presented here as this variable, and the value, like I could do this instead, or val. Maybe that'll be clear. So the first time through would be 20, the next time -10, and the last time would be 1. This is going to happen 3 times in this example. In actuality, it's going to go through whatever is pulled from this function, which could be 0 or well, it won't be 0 because we already checked to make sure it's not empty. But it could be just 1 or 20. Probably not up to 20. Well, maybe if you're fighting like 100 NPCs and they all have like a bunch of different effects. Anyways, okay. It could happen, maybe. Alright, so now we're going to do different stuff depending on the name. Or the key. So, let's capture all of our stats here. This is how you would create a fatal there. It's talking in programming is a little weird. It's not something I've really done a lot of. So stamina, strength is strength. It is important that I spell these correctly, otherwise it will not work. Intellect, agility, and spirit. Spirit. It could also be armor. or even resist, I believe. Let's chill on those just for the moment, but I believe that, why not, right? Okay. So we are going to be affecting these stats of the NPC, which is nice and basic for now. I like that. I like that. We could make things more complicated and add different things and different like case if they're bleeding, then do some thing. I don't know. The future will hold things. We'll see what happens with it. Let's see. But for now, we can do this, basically this. So we know it's going to be one of these. One of these 5. We'll keep it at that for now. So it is safe to assume this variable exists. So it'd be, oh God, why did I ever make stats an object instead of an array? Why did I think that was a good idea? Meaning that I have to access it like this. Good God, can you even still do this in this version of PHP? I know you could in older ones. I need to test. I need to go back to first grade and do a test because I want to make sure this works. I'm pretty sure it used to, where you could just use a variable to represent the object property. But I want to make sure. So let's see, test. We'll make a test object. So this is how you do it in PHP, which is kind of weird. Okay. And we'll give it the property of test, which equals ABC. Great. So, great. And we'll just kill our script right there. So what this will do is it'll create a new object. It'll then give that object a property of test with the value of ABC. And then this function here will show, what did I just do? This function will show everything about this variable, basically. Or at least what's able to be shown. Okay. We will access this right here. Great. It is. I don't know if you should see this. It is an object, standard class type object with the property test and the value of ABC. So great. So what I'm going to do now is do this. Say prop equals test. And see if I can access that property using a variable instead of, like for example, let's just do it like this. This should show us just ABC without the rest of the variable. ABC. And it is a string that is 3 long. Units? 3 strings long? 3 characters. There we go. Okay. I just didn't know the technical name for the length, the universal length applied to any particular project. Obviously, a string is a character, but if it's a Boolean or an array, a better example, an array, like what would be the length? But anyways. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, now if this works, it will also say ABC. And then we can just go ahead. I have not done this in forever. I don't use objects that often, outside of the stats variable in tons of time. And in my day job, never. So, looks like it worked. Let's just confirm that worked by adding another little letter to the value there and confirm that a D is there. Okay, good. Okay, that works. We are good to go. We are confident. now that I can do this. Stats key plus equals, and we want to make sure that this is invalid because we don't want to push any non-numeric values upon it. I mean, I guess I could do like, you know, like if is numeric val, you know, could do that, but I don't know, for some reason I like this better, even though this is probably more computationally expensive, but it's such a little thing. I don't want to micro-optimize. That can lead to problems. Sometimes readability is sometimes better in these edge cases. Like there's way bigger performance obstacles than do I do a numeric check versus int-val in this one particular setup. You know what I mean? It does all add up, but I guess you have to trust me when I say these are very grain of sand compared to boulders when as far as performance optimization opportunities go. Okay, so this actually should work right here. How do I set this test up? I guess I could just, no. I could actually use that test page I had before and get myself an arbitrary target. Yeah, I know, I drink those weird. I don't like ice touching my teeth. I'm worried about that. Some people I know chew ice. That's crazy to me. But you do you. Alright. Alright, let's upload it and see. I just want to make sure. Syntax looks good. Alright. Man, if this is all it took to make this work, and the other parts were already in play, oh man. I mean, I kind of almost been like bummed out, like, damn, why did I not do this earlier? Because I'm doing this for the Druid spell, but I could do this for so many other things. For example, one of my common examples is for like NPC Enrage, you know, in like World of Warcraft, for example, when an NPC, some bosses or tougher NPCs, or even any NPCs, they get below like 10% or 5% health or whatever. They enrage. They all of a sudden their strength like goes up by 20% or 50% or whatever the hell. It's cool little stuff like that could be done just by this. Well, first, excuse me. Let me not lament that yet. Let's see if this even works and I don't have to do a whole bunch more things. If I have to do a whole bunch more things, I'll feel much better about it. Excuse me. Alright. First thing first, just refresh, make sure I did not break everything. Okay. Alright, now we got two. Alright. Now I need to let's get in bear form. Fierce Roar. Alright. I set the description up that way. I just want to verify that I did indeed set up the spell correctly. That's what I'm looking at right now. It's the spell itself in the database. Alright. Beastly Roar. Okay. Effects. Oh. Oh. It's awesome. It's an AoE. Okay. I have it where you can rank up. I gotta fix that. This is just a buff. This one doesn't rank. Who does it? For now, no. Maybe in the future. It's kind of complicated. Alright, cooldown is 30 seconds. That's fair for actual game, but I'm going to update it to 3 for testing purposes. I don't want to wait forever. And it lasts for 2 minutes. That's actually pretty good, but I'm going to up it to 5 just so I can test easier again. And it is a overtime spell that applies this. So when we check that, the way I read it, it looks like it should work. Unless I read it wrong, which I totally could have. All right. I will snippet this. I will show this. This is what I'm looking at here. Beastly Roar. It is a buff, and it has these effects. -10 stamina, -10 intellect, -10 strength, -10 agility, -10 spirit. So, sounds like Sonic music. I like it. Okay. All right, let's test it out. Okay, I already uploaded the file. I did adjust the spell, which I have to reset the server for because the spells get cached. Okay. All right. Let's go there. I presume these people will target me once I cast this upon them, which is good. That way I can easily find them. Let me set up the script first. Okay. So, this. Select, star from the NPC table, which is active NPCs, where target equals what my target ID, which is user-1. Okay. So. I got this syntax I got from, God, what was it? I don't even remember now. What the hell is that framework called? Not Drupal. I can't even remember it now. It's one of those PHP frameworks. I just like the name of it for some reason, so I kept it. All right. Joomla. Okay. So we're going to be grabbing all the people targeting me, and we shall retrieve the stats. Make sure it has. Make sure it has this. Okay. I want to see. Okay. This music sounds like Perfect Dark. Okay. Alright, so right now it should yield nothing. But when I get somebody on me, these people don't have an aggro. radius. The people in the hold do. Help! The bear is very scared of riding wolves. I love that. Oh, I can't mount here. How sad. Alright. Here I'll be able to get targets on me, no problem. Now this should yield. There. That person has 537 strength. Let's see what happens. I'm going to cast a spell, and if it does what it should do, that number should go down. So it is 537. Let's remember that. 537. 537. Casted the spell. Oh god, it's a huge... Got that person. Alright, well shit. They're both lower though. Would it be 10% though? Looks like it just went down by 10. Oh, it did just go by 10. I didn't do the math right. This is why we test. Alright. Stupid me. It's fine. Yeah, I just added 10 to it. Alright. So, we'll round it, I guess. Did we do this right? Kind of writing this sort of weird. But the original stat will add to that existing stat value times the value, which in this case will be 10 divided by 100, so it'll be you know, point 0.1. So that should in theory work. More better. Let's try that again. These are new NPCs. I should not have any targets. Let's get away. Alright. 537. Growl. There we go. That's better. That looks like 10%. Okay, good. Cool. Let's try that one more time. And make the values more extreme. These are all melee, so I'm going to do the strength reduction by like 80%. I want to see their damage go down. Although 500 is already pretty low. Might not be that noticeable. So I don't know. We'll try it. Reset. And reset you guys. I guess I could have just had my target. Oh well, whatever. Alright, 537 again. What are you doing? How are you hitting me? I guess I'll wait for the melees to come out. Because she's going to run out of rage fairly soon here. Okay. Alright, melee 17, 17, 17. They're pretty consistently 17. So again, they're pretty, without much variance. I'm wondering how much the stats going to make a difference. But we'll do it anyways. Alright. Roar! And then you now have down to 107. So See, still 17. I wonder if it's just because this person's stats are that low, it doesn't make a difference. Now we have to do more testing. It might be just because the stats are so low it doesn't make a difference, but it should. I mean, it should at least make a difference of like 1 or 2. You should be able to see it go down at that point. I mean, if a druid's going to have this buff, they need to see it work. Granted, I don't think you get bear till a little bit later, like level 10, which is where you'd be about here, so it needs to work. Alright. Person off of me, and we're going to do figure out if these stats are actually going into play here. All right, to the attack function. We were here earlier today, getting the mana regen spell working. Oh yeah, I also had added the combat text to it as well. Cleaned it up a little bit. I suppose with that combat text there, I really don't need my debug text. Alright, let's see. Melee, here we are. Here's the modifier, which is hidden in the math class. Maybe one day I'll show that. Maybe. Okay. So, for now, excuse me, we will simply dump this into the combat log. See what it says. Take a little time, do a little testing. Okay. I think that free music thing ran out. There we go. Okay. So, this person, 537 health. I mean, not health, 537 strength. They are. Oh. Spelled it wrong. About to say, was the strength modifier really broken? That would have been tragic. No. Here we go. Let's see. There's a 4. He's currently about 5%, 4 or 5% increase without debuff. Let's see if this should change it after I click this button from 0.0472 to... I dodged again. 0.01. All right, so that should have made quite a bit of difference. Just want to find out why it didn't. Is it just too low of a percentage? All right. So the actual bonus damage, that was the modifier. Here is the actual bonus damage from your stats. From my stats in this particular case. Just the base damage. Let me see that too. What is the base damage? I will say base. Instead of make it less confusing, maybe. Alright. Base. Alright. Base, the modifier, and then the bonus. Let's even put little separating lines in. Pipe. Alright. Maybe that will shed some light on the situation. Research, reset, make sure it didn't break anything too bad, clear the NPCs. I could do that. Alright. What say you? Alright. Base. Oh, well, I suppose I have to wait for them to run out of rage. Come on. Alright, here we go. Looks like that first one was base 41. Bonus was 2. Base 42, 40. So, bonus of 2 from their amount of strength, which is small. I bet you it's because I'm a bear, and because I think my armor in bear form is super high, so I'm just mitigating it like crazy. Anyways, let's see what this changes. I'm just thinking, alright. So the bonus has gone from 2 to 1. I wonder if rounding makes more sense. Bonus went to 0, which is good. Alright, should still be bonus at 2, I'm thinking. Bonus at 8. Oh, that's because it's not there. Okay. Let's say, what the hell? What have I done? It's fine. It is fine. I am dodging. I'm dodging. It's probably because I'm so high level. There you go. Bonus of 2. Okay. So basically, this in this case it's even like 80%. Like taking there's the strength from 500 to 100 is really only taking their bonus damage, which is like base like 40, 41 from like 2 to 0. And then plus my armor mitigation, it pretty much makes it as if that's not even happening. I wonder what this will look like against somebody not level 7 or whatever. So let me go somewhere higher level. That's right. Yeah. This will do just fine. Alright, what do you got? Oh, they run out of rage really fast. Okay. So the bonus in this case is a lot. So they're hitting me for like 800, 780, 770 to 800. Let me do my thing. Just want to see one more. I'm still dodging my case. Yeah. Alright. So that bonus is like 1620. Alright, let's fire that off. What in the world? Oh, somebody else. Let's see. Actually, I don't think anybody's around here, you know. I got the attention of somebody else. I did not mean to. The range on this spell is huge. I should make sure it's not that big. Alright, I made it quite a bit smaller. Damn. They're like right on me. Okay, how about you? A priest. They'll have smaller strength, which is fine. Come on, buddy. There we go. All right. So 766, 763, 785, 760. Okay, 760 to 780. Oh, there we go. Down to 2. So now it's making a huge difference. I think it's just because those earlier NPCs just didn't have really high stats, which made it kind of marginal. I think what's my armor at? This doesn't show. That's right. Yeah, it's like really high. So it's because I had unfairly high armor. Plus bear form increases your armor by like a lot. So like my armor's what, like 57 right now? Let's go back. Yeah, went 44. So went from 44 up to like 57. So increased it by quite a good bit there. You die. All right. All right, cool. So it looks like that works pretty good. Definitely will have to test that with actual, like, correctly ranked spells once I'm to that level of testing. But that'll be part of the balancing. Looks like it worked. Okay, so yes and no, because NPCs, their health won't be affected by that, because your health is preset. How is their health even generated to begin with? Does it even follow the same math, or is it just a flat number? No comment. I actually kind of like this. I'll come back to that at some point. Just leave it there as a template for testing. Okay. It's gonna be part of the good stats, so like. Okay. Oh, this is for example. This is for consideration. Alright. Trying to find their NPC health. I'm trying to find the NPC health and where the hell it comes from. Yes, but where? I know I do not manually set NPC HP in the database. It's generated based on stats. Man. Alright. Maybe gotta figure out where this stuff is. No. There it is, NPC auto stats. God. Yeah, this stuff is... It's different than users. Like players, actual people. Okay. Base. That's by their stamina. Okay. Now I got some weird ass modifiers going on here. This might need some looking into. to slightly nerf. There's a random element to it. Oh man. It's kind of. This, obviously, this has been commented out forever. Well, it is what it is for now. This is kind of one of those things like, do I want to functionize this? Do I want to make this into a function? I don't know if I do. Maybe I do. The way this is handled is slightly different. I got like really chapped lips all of a sudden. Weather here is nuts here in Houston. I think this only applies to pets that have been trained, and that's an old function that no longer really... I don't think that really exists anymore. This is for trained pet, yeah. That's that, which is a dead function. This is still okay. I think this can be removed, which simplifies it. This is a weird modifier. NPCs with rage automatically have a reduced by half rage modifier. That's interesting. Ugh, I hate how I wrote some of this stuff. Level, which is sorry, derivative of NPC level. Why are we doing it? Why are we assigning it a different level? A different. That's stupid. That's confusing. This is old ass code, very old code. I'm a little less hesitant to modify this kind of stuff because a lot of it's like, what the hell was I thinking? All right. Modifiers. So that base. This is a base modifier, 25 for health for the. All right. So it looks like this is not so much. It's like it's reducing it for rage-based NPCs, but it's actually doubling it for mana-based. Given helping the NPC mana people out. So, that's interesting indeed. Indeed. Here's a bit of randomness, I suppose I've added to it. Why? That's not even random, it's just adding it to it. Just 'cause. I don't know how. Whatever. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. Definitely have to keep that in mind to revisit at some point. Let's make sure it doesn't do that for pets. Anything that has a master is a pet NPC. Alright, so let's go ahead. Yeah, I see in the game chat, yeah. It's a bug that happens. Can just... Yeah, you can just kill something else and it fixes it, but I will fix that. Sometimes, I believe it's when your pet kills something, you get stuck in combat. I really do need to look into that. That is an annoying one. Sorry, I'm responding to the game chat. I swear, if you attack somebody, they don't necessarily... Oh, maybe they do go into combat themselves. I'll have to look into that too. There's so many things to look into. But right now, I am focused on one thing. Because if you don't focus on one thing, you don't ever get anything done. You cannot be distracted by a million things. You gotta just sometimes go, this is what I'm working on. And Druid is what I'm working on. Because it is a ton of work. And I am... I gotta get it going here. This is going to be a, yeah. I hope this is a good idea. We'll see. Public static function. So, okay. We are making a function to build NPC health and mana, because that's part of the equation. So it works now that the debuff reduces their stats, and it has an effect in combat, like strength and intellect will have that effect, and agility in combat. But stamina, which is also responsible, and intellect, which is also responsible, depending on what class you are, on your mana, we need that to be affected here too. So, here we go. Generate, I don't know what the hell they call it, generate NPC. It's not stats, because it's just health and mana. I don't know, NPC, HP, MP. That is a crazy looking function name. Oh, what's up, Crow? Thank you for joining. Yeah, getting this druid going, and it's not just druid. These improvements, these changes can apply to all classes and NPCs and such. So we're just basically making the combat code more robust and have more features. So. Yeah, so enemies can have talents, not necessarily talents in the way that you guys have them, by like clicking on talents and stuff, but that way they can have like debuffs or buffs. So like what I want to do is make it to where some NPCs have like enrage, which can be triggered by various things. But for example, when like a beast gets too low on health, like below 10% on health, they enrage and become, you know, their strength increases by like 25 or 50% or something like that. So yeah, they can be modified a little bit more, because right now they're fairly static, but right now we're trying to get them to where they can be a little bit more dynamic. And I got it working for like their strength and like the amount of damage they can do. But I need to get it to work where the stamina actually reduces their health pool and intellect, mana, etc. So that's what we're doing. But in order to do that, kind of have to make some of the code a little bit more dynamic. Instead of calculating NPC health in just one place, it needs to be able to do it wherever I want it to. So, sorta, yeah. HP base. All right. I believe HP base is an actual database property. I need to make sure of that, because if not, I have to be like, where is that coming from? Yeah, okay, it is. All right. And it's using NPC stamina, not stats. That I find strange. Because it doesn't have stats yet. I don't want to do that. This is settings, stats. This just does stats, doesn't. Okay. Let's see if we can figure something out here. Okay. Stats equals like this. We'll convert the object to a variable array. I think that's how you do it. Huh? not something I do often. Otherwise, I'll just use the base PC object. Oops. Let me check that real quick. Yep. Ah, there is a space. Okay. Internet is great. That was close. I was right the first time. I should have trusted my instinct. Okay. So now, that's where we reference the actual stat. We should be able to do this. So stamina, intellect as well. I think that's the only place that these are used. So I think we're okay here. I had to do that so when NPCs are spawned, it doesn't have this stats object built yet. So we needed to be able to fall back to the actual NPC array where apparently variables are stored. So, from the base table. I did not recall that. But anyways, we're good. We're good. Alright. So now I need to... do I just return the NPC? No. Here, build a return array. Just for readability. Do I call it HP or health in this case? Alright, so. Alright. Alright. That should work for what we're trying to do. And doesn't qualify. Return false. Okay. Okay. Yikes. That should do it. So that will replace. That will replace all of this. Yeah. And we can do PC. HP max. Oh yeah, that's all its function. Call it HP MP. All right. Hopefully this works, because yikes if this doesn't. I'm about to test this live. everything. Okay. This is a big one. If this one messes up, we are in trouble. Alright, so these fiendish battlers have about 14,000 to 14,000 right now. 15,000, 25,000 for the casters. Okay, looking good. Let's find a caster up there. Okay, good. We didn't break anything. It is still working the same it was. And if you saw the last stream, that is a great sign. It means we're almost there. We do a big change and it still works the way it was, we're good. We'll keep this here for now in case I have to do emergency rebirth or something. But good. Now we can use this function in the get starts. This will change the stats. Ah, shit. Oh my god, this doesn't have a... Alright, hold on. Oh, this is actually could be a disaster because this doesn't have the NPC here. It just had, right? Or does it? No, yeah, it does. It has a target. The fuck? What am I talking about? We're good. Oh, I panicked for no reason. Okay. So we'll only recalculate if needed. So that'd be stamina or intellect, really. Recalc. HP, MP. They didn't say it is not true. But if it is stamina or intellect that's getting altered, one way or the other, it could make their stuff stronger if they buff themselves. Oops. True. That might help. Alright, now we do this. Which, by the way, is the same thing as saying, like... So, I mean, I can leave like that to be more readable. Alright. And... this is target. Alright, so here's how we're gonna have to do this. Oh, okay, but I can access it, but I can't update it. God damn it. This might... I might have been right. This might be harder than I thought. But I know I can pass by reference. Right now I'm trying to see oh boy, in the actual attack execution code, let's refresh target. Just pulling correct. How we're pulling the NPC data. Okay. Just get stats right there. Mm-hmm. Unless I want to have to go line by line and modify every single call after the fact and add the HP code afterwards, which I don't. What I'm going to have to do is, oh man, this might get a little sticky. We might have to pass this by reference, which is kind of huge change in the game. This is a critical core function of the game, and now we're saying that the target can actually be changed, which anything that gets in combat, everything that goes through any type of combat goes through this function. You, your NPC you're fighting, your pet, everything. So now I gotta be very careful because this variable, this target, you, potentially could be changed in this function. Okay. Now we gotta make sure, so we've changed their max HP and MP Rage or Mana. We gotta make sure that their current values do not exceed that. Caught that real quick. That could have been a bug. So, basically if, HP is greater than do likewise with the MP. Okay, so now we're actually having this variable actually changed in here, and now that it's passed by reference here, it'll actually be changed by the functions that call it too. We talked a little bit about this last stream, so you gotta be careful because that, again, happening here too. This will affect things. What have we done? Why wouldn't I have a buff or debuff that can increase their armor or resistance? Why not? Yeah. Okay. So we're setting it, cleaning it up. Okay. Another big change. So this really won't be this won't actually happen until we get an effect that triggers this. But we can test at least the reference passing to see if we just destroyed everything. I'm actually going to do this, log on to a different character that I can have expected results. Hey Spartan guy, what's up, man? Long time no see. Oh god, I'm here though. No. We're gonna sail somewhere where, definitely not there, where I can kill something. TitansOfTime.com. Check it out. Check out our YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Discord. Join the Discord community. All the fun updates happen there, for real. That's where I say all the things. And where you can say all the things that right back at me. Say them with me. Alright. That guy went down really fast. I'm very strong. And then my pet's doing damage. They're healing themselves. They keep healing themselves. My pet's doing more damage. They have dots and hots. Now just hot. They really... Okay, now they're out of... Oh, and they're dead. Okay. I want to make sure... Ugh, my pet killed. Now I'm in the exact bug that I was talking about. I need to make sure that my gash is doing damage. Yes, it is. Okay, good. I didn't think it was for some reason. Alright. So things look okay. Things look okay. Things should be much more difficult in the crypt. Let me test that out. I feel like these guys are pretty easy. Am I that strong now? But yeah, if that bug happens where you're stuck in combat, just kill something else, it'll clear up. Unless your pet kills it again, and then... Alright. Yeah, I mean, that looks about right. These guys are... Where I expect a little bit more of a challenge. Alright, good. Good. While I'm here, train, spirit. Okay. Well, thank you, Spartan guy, for helping out in the testing process. All right. So good. It looks like that. I didn't break anything too bad by passing by reference there. Let's test out the spell. We should see, in theory, a change in their health. Right? I think so. Let's try. Let's make it more significant, kind of like we did with the strength one. So we can test it easier and see. So we'll send the strength one back to 10%. And let's do stamina and intellect. So we don't have to worry about which one we're testing on. Casters or melee people. Alright. Alright, so here's a Fiendish Battler. His health is 14,417. The idea is, after I attack him with, or not attack him, but cast Beastly Roar in proximity, this should show lower, I think. Let me see that. Let me see, actually. I think I know what to check. So target. Cached user target. Right. Stats, boom. So yeah. Cached. Oh, it's cached, it's cached, it's cached. Target data get cleared every cycle? Yes. Okay, good. This is just for to keep it in the loop. Okay, just checking. There's so much complication in the code for performance enhancement. Optimization is like 80% of my code. All right. There are some priority bugs I do need to get. I do need to check out those bugs though. So I need to do this. Next time I do this, it'll be bug stomping. We'll do some bug stomping. We can take a little break for Drew to do some bug stomping. I believe there's like an inventory involving like Legion Vault bug of some kind, and which. I believe it. I believe it. I totally redid that code not too long ago. I haven't heard any issues, but other from this one user. But we shall see. I believe it. I'll take a look into it, and we shall squash it. But for now, we are going to continue to focus on the ability to wreck these NPCs. All right, let's just test if it works. 18,388. Down to 2,790. I would say that worked pretty well. Yeah. So that was due to their stamina and stuff. So let's do something a little less aggressive. Alright, now you're at 14 out of 16. Boom. Now you're at 2670 out of 2670. Yikes. That's 50%. Is that right? Is that too aggressive? think I might know what the issue is here. 'Cause it seems like a pretty dramatic reduction. We'll see. I have to make a copy and then slam. Oh, wait. Copy. Stats. Should read the stat updates, so we've got that going, but I think it's missing something critical to this function. We have level. Alright. So level's good, but we don't have HP base. Or possibly even class. Set HP base and NP base. Do I ever change that ever? I don't think I ever changed that. No, there's not one variation. It's always 600. NP base is always 500. All right. Needs this. This function already has all those things because it's from the actual NPC table. I don't think we need to. Okay, I think we can just do this. I think we can just just write it in HP base. Now, we have to make a copy because now it's passed by reference, so we can't just change it. And we have to change a copy of it and pass that copy to this function to get the correct values back so we can correctly change the variable that is passed by reference. Yikes. Programming is hard. But very fun and rewarding. Oh yeah, this is 500. Copy level. Target should have level. Lead. Is that stored anywhere? I think it is. Stats. Okay, good. this function again. Alright. Level, HP base, level, class, important, master, which if you're a pet or not, also very important. I need to make sure that these exist on the what's the function called? Actually, spawn. Yeah. Actually spawn NPC. If I actually spell actually right. Acutely. Okay. Actually spawn NPC. Because there's like a million prerequisite functions. Alright. So what I'm doing here is I want to make sure that stats contains, alright, class, yes, it's there. One thing I actually would like to add to this, so I don't have to fudge it in the future, even though it's always the same. What if I want to change it? I could make this more dynamic. Good. I think that's fine. And I said class levels in here, I'd assume, yep. Elite. Yes. What about master? Let's see, master. That should be even on the stats. That should be on the... Yes. Okay, that should be on the actual NPC variable. Okay. Okay. I think we're okay here. I think we're okay here. All right. Brain has the candy shell on it. Okay. All right. I think that should do it. We got elite from the stats. It's on the class. Stats is on the master, which is not. That is not correct. We don't want that. Should just already exist. That would have actually broken it. This we can do now. So stats, HP, base. Look at that. All right, let's try it. Okay. This guy's got, you know, I'll just reset all the NPCs so they all should, there we go. Good. Your health looks correct. There we go. Let's back up to a little bit. Alright. 15 looks 16. To 9. That looks right. That looks more correct. That looks more better. Okay, good. Let's test it. Okay. Oh, I guess we don't. It's not a direct science because there's some modifiers and stuff in the steps. Okay, good. So it works on. Could have reduced your rage as well. I like seeing that. And more spells for the bear. Where's the caster at? There we go. 15 and 20,000. So 15 and 20. Down to 9. 13. I think that's right. That was good. Wanted to make sure that the class was being passed so it affected the mana correctly by intellect. Okay, so I guess I wouldn't know if it wasn't just the same. I guess I could test that, huh? PC roar. Stamina negative 50, intellect. Let's say negative 1. Not even noticeable. So now it should affect melee only. If I did this correctly. So fiendish battler you are, 15060. 1560. There. That works correctly. Alright. Let's go get a caster. You. If this worked correctly, it should not affect their mana pool, but only their health. Just 19 and 26. So it should stay 26, and then 19 should go down. Or I said it backwards. The 26 should not go down, and then 19 should go down, which is exactly what happened. Okay, good, because it affects stamina, not intellect. Correct, or barely intellect. Okay, good. That's exactly correct. Even though I confusingly said what should happen oppositely. Yeah, I like that. Well, I think we got it. Looks like we have NPCs that are now affected, who have stats, and the stats that influence their health and mana and rage, affected now by actual buffs and debuffs, which is great. I've been wanting to do that for a very long time. Yeah. Like, for example, what? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So for example, now the priest fortitude buff should increase one's pet's health now. Yeah. All I can say is, I hope I didn't mess anything up with this one too bad. I'm sure I introduced a bug or two. It happens almost every time. But you can't let that stop you. All right, well, success. We got it. So today we got two things happening. We got the druid, or just debuffs in general that work on NPCs, and buffs from their stats, which is great. Now I can do a whole bunch of things that NPCs can do that they could not do before. Yay! Probably just make things harder for people. Cool, right? well, not all the time, because now you have the ability to do debuffs. Maybe I'll revamp some other classes to add some debuff spells or talents or whatever. I mean, the options are now quite wide open. Kind of great. I'm kind of excited about that. I like that flexibility that's now added to the game. That was not there before. All this stuff, new code, and this function, which allowed me to modularize the way HP and MP are generated for NPCs. Very good. It's so hard to read some of this stuff. I used to like group everything together to smash it all lines. Like, it's so ugly. Hard to read. It's still kind of hard to read. Yeah. One day I'll organize this better. Okay, this looks like, again, more HP. Then we're going back to doing MP. And then doing more HP. Probably should just group that here with the HP. Again. There. It's a little bit better organized. All right, here's all the HP operations, and here's all the MP operations. Good. Let's just make sure that that didn't break anything, because sometimes you never know. That looks about right. Yeah, let's jump to there. This person has 14 as well. Very nice. Okay. Whew, cool. All right. Definitely got it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me while we did this. It was a lot of fun. We got that going. We got the AoE mana regen or HP regen, even if I wanted it. So much was added to the game engine today. The server side game engine, the ability to do all these new attacks and buffs and all that kind of stuff. So cool. One step closer to getting a druid out and making the game cooler. So, which is the daily process for me. All right. Well, cool. So, remember, if you aren't already following on Twitch, please do so. I plan to do many more of these in the future, and Calvin and I and Nurse Nobi will be doing run-throughs, especially once that new zone is built. Yeah, so go play, timestime.com. Tell your friends. All right, bye guys, thanks.